G'day, it's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Delling from the website and YouTube channel Kangaroo Court of Australia. Now, the federal government, Anthony Albanese and the rest of them, are jumping up and down about Peter Dutton's corruption, dodgy share trading, which has also raised the issue in relation to his dodgy trust, family trust. Dutton says there's nothing in it at the moment. And the Sydney Morning Herald has raised issues in relation to Peter Dutton's investment properties and the money he's made from that. So the government nor the media, the old media, will mention Paladin or Canstruck, which are the two real issues. Like they're over $2 billion. Paladin's over $500 million and Canstruck is $1.8 billion. They're dodgy deals Peter Dutton did when he was a Home Affairs Minister. But Albanese or none of his ministers or backbenchers will mention that, nor will the media, because they all know it's been covered up by the National Anti-Corruption Commission and the Australian Federal Police. And nor will the government refer Peter Dutton's insider trading with his bank shares to the National Anti-Corruption Commission for investigation. They just want to jump up and down and throw mud, but they actually won't do anything. Well, I think all of it should be referred to the National Anti-Corruption Commission. The government can access all the information. They can access all the information in relation to Paladin and Canstruck. They're in government. They've been in government for 3 years. They can access all the staff members who are involved and put the prima facie case to the National Anti-Corruption Commission and demand they have public hearings, amend the National Anti-Corruption Commission's Act so they can have public hearings. But no, the government won't do that. Now, the share trading was actually raised in 2009, and I'll read you out a bit of an article from then. And also Peter Dutton making millions of dollars from childcare centres was raised years ago as well, and I'll show you a video of that in a minute. Sydney Morning Herald published an article on the 22nd of March 2009 titled Liberal Invests in 4 Big Banks. And it starts off, a key member of the shadow front bench was investing heavily in Australian banks. At the very time, the opposition leader Malcolm Turnbull was attacking the government's banking guarantee for promoting risky behaviour. Shadow Health Minister Peter Dutton, who served as Assistant Treasurer in the previous Howard government and then as Shadow Finance Minister last year, probably did not think the risky behaviour referred to by Malcolm Turnbull would have a detrimental effect on the share price of the Big Four. Mr Dutton began buying bank stocks just weeks after the guarantee was announced. As parliamentary debate over the decision was ramping up, records of share transactions provided to the Register of Members' Interest by Mr Dutton show he purchased Westpac, Commonwealth, ANZ and National shares repeatedly between November 2008 and February 2009. Now, with the latest reporting, it seems to be a bit different. That article says he bought shares after the banking guarantee was announced, but the latest reporting suggests he bought shares before it was announced, the day before, which is very suspect. But anyhow, the government should put all that evidence together and refer it to the National Anti-Corruption Commission, but they won't do it. They don't want to start a precedent. They're worried the opposition will do it to them. And they must have plenty to hide, you'd have to suspect, because they won't do it. Now, I'll show you a video from 2018, a Channel 10 video, which is titled Peter Dutton's Childcare Centres have received $5.6 million in Commonwealth funding. Not only does that relate to his dodgy trust, his family trust, which needs to be fully audited. It shouldn't be allowed that federal politicians have a family trust, but he's been able to manage to get away with it. But it also raises a current issue that's never been resolved, not legally anyhow, and that is if Peter Dutton's eligible to actually sit as a federal politician, given he was getting grant from the government. Federal politicians cannot get government grants at all or make money from the government in any shape or form. But Peter Dutton clearly was. So let's watch the video. It's well worth watching. It only goes for a couple of minutes.
More details have emerged about a multi-million-dollar flow of Commonwealth money into Peter Dutton's Brisbane childcare centres. In a stunning development, another senior legal expert says if Peter Dutton becomes Prime Minister, his decisions could be declared illegal by the High Court. Hugh Rimmington has the latest.
Anyone despairing at our current national politics needs to consider this. If Peter Dutton becomes Prime Minister, according to a senior legal expert, his decisions could be struck down by the High Court.
The worst case scenario is as Prime Minister, he's rendering decisions that are completely legally invalid, and nothing he does as Prime Minister will stand under challenge in the High Court.
As 10 News revealed on Monday, Peter Dutton has a beneficial interest in 2 Brisbane childcare centres, which have been receiving direct childcare subsidy money from the Commonwealth. Section 44 of the Constitution disqualifies any MP from having any direct or indirect pecuniary interest in an agreement with the Commonwealth.
It's on its face that Mr Dutton is in a position where there are at least questions to be answered.
New details secured under Freedom of Information indicate the two centres have received more than $5 million in Commonwealth funding since 2010. Under sustained questioning in Parliament, the Prime Minister admitted he's taken Peter Dutton's word for it, that he's in the clear.
It is an issue of the eligibility for the member for Dixon. He has legal advice, but as I said, I've not read it.
The government's official source of independent legal advice is the Commonwealth Solicitor General, but by question time today, the PM admitted no one had bothered to ask him.
I'm advised by the Attorney General that advice has not been sought from the Solicitor General.
Why not? Yelled the Labor benches.
Will the Prime Minister be true to his word and refer the member for Dixon to the High Court?
The member for Dixon has advised me that he has legal advice that he is not in breach of Section 44 and I have no reason, therefore, to believe that he is.
Late this afternoon, however, government sources have told 10 News the Attorney General will be seeking advice from the Solicitor General. The question of Peter Dutton's constitutional eligibility is far too important to be left to rely on his own legal advice. Hugh Rimmington, 10 Eyewitness News.
So there you have it. That's never been resolved. You know, Peter Dutton telling the then Prime Minister, I got legal advice, so it's all okay. Well, that's bullshit. And if Peter Dutton was to win the balance of power, well, that's something the independents and the minor parties who will be relying on, potentially be relying on, to form government, well, they're going to have to demand an actual inquiry or some sort of legal guarantee of some sort. They'd have to say, well, let's send it to the High Court. They can deal with it in an expedient manner to determine if Peter Dutton is eligible to sit as Prime Minister. Now, the Paladin and Canstruck schemes that Peter Dutton oversaw as Home Affairs Minister are well known. In October 2022, I published an article titled Peter Dutton and his dodgy $1.8 billion deal with Canstruck, who had no staff, no revenue and no assets, will the NAC investigate. In October 2024, I published an article protecting Peter Dutton. NAC's $532 million Paladin fraud investigation is a sham that was completed when Scott Morrison was PM. In October 24, I published a video titled NAC Report on Paladin countersigned by the Scott Morrison government. And I'll put a link to that video below this video on YouTube so you can watch that. The Labor Party are desperate. They're throwing mud at Peter Dutton, and it's just mud because they won't back it up. They should back it up. I agree. You know, Peter Dutton should be investigated for everything. He's a major league crook. He should be investigated for insider trading, Paladin, family trust, where he's dodging and ducking and weaving big time, hiding assets. But the government are throwing this mud, but they won't back it up with referrals to the National Anti-Corruption Commission or the federal police. They won't do anything about Paladin or Canstruck. They won't even mention Paladin or Canstruck because they know they've done a dirty deal with Dutton to cover it up, government corruption. And as I've previously said in other videos and articles I've written, when the government raises corruption issues in relation to the Liberal Party and National Party, they embarrass themselves because when they raise those corruption allegations, they're reinforcing to all the people who follow the National Anti-Corruption Commission that they're doing nothing, that the Labor Party have helped the Liberal Party and National Party cover it up. Anyhow, please do your bit and help shine a light on corruption by sharing this video on social media. And please hit the like and subscribe button and notification button. And Kangaroo Court of Australia publishes a website and a YouTube channel, and I'm 100% crowdfunded from viewers like yourself. I need approximately another 200 monthly supporters to become financially viable, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you made a donation via PayPal or Patreon. And you can donate any amount, $3, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $40, $50 a month, whatever suits your budget. It all helps out in a big way. Or you can do one-off donations. The links for Patreon and PayPal are below this video on YouTube and also on my website. Or you can go to my website for the donations page with other donation options. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a good day.